I would like to introduce you to a game called Motor Slicer. It is a game I've played a lot of for the last couple days, and I have put in 9 hours of this game, and I would like to introduce you to it, because this game is a very, very interesting game, and I don't think enough people have covered it. So, I'd like you to introduce you to Motor Slicer. Now, Motor Slicer is a mirror edge style game, and where you jump and climb and all this kind of stuff. You've got loads of different movement options. You've got your climb, and then you've got your wall jump, and also there are loads of different you've also got a wall climb where you can climb on the gaps through the walls and climb up stuff like you see here. So you can also climb yellow pillars, which you will see in just a second. So you can climb these yellow pillars and climb up them. And also jump on loads of different obstacles. You mainly fight through, say, a lot of the enemies. You fight them and go through the levels. Now, there are some downsides with this, same with like all types of games, like Mirror's Edge and all that kind of stuff.
Confirming contact with
where like you sometimes you
Perhaps
just
detect
get stuck on a wall
structure is
or
compromised.
stuck on a section.
Engaging with the enemy.
But this game's more of like, it's more of a puzzly kind of game, I find. So it's more of like you die a lot, you explore, jump around. So there are two types of enemies in this game. One of them I'm going to show you today, the other one I'm not, because I'm just showing you chapter 1. So you'll have to find out and see. So these are like your basic enemies, they hit you. You can also parry attacks. So yeah, you can parry attacks in the scenery as well. So this moves us into our first section of the game. This is like where the end of a chapter is. You come to find this area, and we've also got points where you have little story progression, which
How am I
P
gonna
is
climb
showing
to
you
the
now.
top of this structure? Could this be the place Central is looking for? An alpha structure that can control all the machines. Do you think that's true?
So you can like pick between options. Your character is mainly played
It's
as the
probably
orb,
just
which
another
follows
tale
us
from the
round,
ancient
which is the camera.
scriptures.
What the funny thing is that you can actually hit the orb in game and to kill it. It's quite interesting.
Well, that doesn't matter. My job
But you've
here
got an
is to
interaction
hunt down
between
machines.
which is the orb's coding
Reaching the
and
top is just part of the job
the
well
orb's
done.
personality, I want to say.
Control all the machines. Do
So
you think
this
that's
is
true?
another option you can pick.
I've been doing this for so long. It's probably just a myth.
And some of
Well,
these
that
options
doesn't
can
matter.
get quite questionable.
My
So it's
job
very,
here is to
very
hunt down
interesting.
machines.
And like I said before,
Reaching the top is just part of the job well done.
this game has really, really cool look to it. And also, if you see at the top, we will be introduced to our first boss, which we will see a little bit more later. So this game does have some great scenery to it, and it's generally just a really cool game. It has a really cool look to it, the music sounds great, and everything else. So this is the first initial part out of the tutorial. The rest of that we just saw was all tutorial. So this is the proper game. The tower is getting stronger and stronger and doesn't want us to climb. So it really does try to stop us. This is the first chapter of the game. The city. So same with like the fighting areas. So you have to kill a certain amount of enemies in a certain area, and there are loads of different ways you can explore the levels, and sometimes not even intentional ways, but you can still get around the obstacles if it's not even intentional. So it's mainly just find your way through the level, and sometimes this means you can actually get out of bounds, which is really, really interesting. And if you can survive out there and get through the level that way, that is valid too. Yes, this is still our first boss we get to see. So this is one of the sections which makes you feel really, really cool when you actually do it, and when you say hello, when you see all of the enemies, and attacking them quickly and fast. Just like this, it makes you feel absolutely amazing when you do finally land it. But, like I said before, it's always okay to fail. Like what I do here. And sometimes, like I said, the mechanics can be a little bit weird. So, at that point, I was accidentally pressing the wrong button, and it didn't continue on the wall jump. But sometimes, also, this game can surprise you and put you in situations which may really make you react quickly. This is one of my more favourite sections of the game. In chapter 1, there are 8 chapters altogether, and they all have different challenges, different bosses, but also checkpoints do come very, very quickly, so it's okay to fail, like I said. And sometimes you just need to learn or pay attention, like what I do here. Sometimes you really do just need to pay attention and wait. So like I said, this game is very, very interesting, and also has loads of different collectibles of these drones. So these drones are ones we have to collect. Some of them have timers and some of them don't. But you all have to, you will have to take them to these areas where the triangle is, and then you will unlock them. The drones don't really have a purpose, you just have to go find them, and it unlocks an achievement once you've completed the game. Now, I'm just going to show you some footage of me playing the game, whilst you guys are more than welcome to listen and have a little bit of a look. So this game, like I said, is very, very interesting, and sometimes it requires you to see sections you've already been to, like this one here, and that makes you think sometimes, maybe I could have done that a little bit quicker, maybe I could have done that a little bit slower, or whatever, or maybe I've missed sections, which is, I genuinely wish there was a timer to this game, just so that you can go through the levels and see how fast you can get through the game. So, this is another interaction. Like I said, we have loads of interactions with P, and sometimes Orby is a little bit questionable with the decisions they make and the decisions you can make. This game sometimes can be a little bit questionable with just the interactions itself. So, it's a little bit pervy. But that's fine. As long as you can get over that, that is absolutely fine. But like I said, sometimes there are issues where, like, like I said, in games like Mirror's Edge and this kind of genre of game, I'm not super into this genre, but I just really love this game, and I really wanted to show it off to you guys. But sometimes it can mean that you don't always get your jumps properly or done all the way, and it can be difficult to do that. Or you could just break out of bounds, like I have done on my first run. So my run took me about 9 hours to complete. It's got loads of playtime in it, and yeah, it is worth an explore of this game. It is really not that expensive. It's about £15, so it isn't that much for the amount of game you're getting. And also, this game does have a very small development team, so this is very interesting to know how much content there is for just this game. And I would love to see speedruns of this game, because it seems so interesting, and see like the bugs they would find and skips they would find. To skip levels or sections of levels would be very interesting. So this game is, like I said, it's just incredible. The world building is great, because you see all of the different enemies and that lot, they all interact with each other, they all interact with the world. The different bosses all have a different method of fighting them. Like, I don't know if I will show you later on, but the way you fight them and fight the bosses are very much like Shadow of the Colossus. Stuff like that, which is just very interesting to me. It's like a machine Shadow of Colossus. I'm definitely not showing you guys this footage because I'm too lazy to edit. Definitely not. Like I said, I am also interested in streaming, so at some point I will do that when I can get round to it, and when I can get bothered to do it. We also can wall ride on sections with the chainsaws, so the chainsaws you can grab onto the wall and all that kind of stuff. I did forget to say this earlier and put it in its own little section. But yeah, it's mainly just about exploring the levels, seeing what we can find, and sometimes there's loads of collectibles in this game. But sadly, it does not unlock like another ending to this game, which is a little bit upsetting. I really did like another game called Neon White, which does have its own section once you've talked to everyone and unlocked all of their collectibles, and there are little sections of levels afterwards where you kind of talked to the other characters, but this is not a review on that game. Sometimes you can get surprised by stuff, so like I almost fell into this saw blades, and it's just so interesting, wall riding and that kind of stuff. And as we come up here, we get to explore another little bit of a question or interest this game tells us. Holes.
Hey look, I found some weird holes. Are they connected to something?
This is where we get to see one of our more questionable interactions. So, and also camera looks. This game does like to do that sometimes.
Maybe the whole structure is connected?
But this is how you see most of the world building in this game, so it doesn't straight up show you a lot of stuff, or like tell you. It mainly just tells you in these sections and the world itself. I'll quickly skip forward across this part.
Hey, look. I found some weird holes.
And we will see what the other interaction does. So like I said, you can always just go back and walk away from the point and just come
Are
back,
they connected to
and
something?
you will just see the other interaction. So yes, like I said, this game is questionable. At times. But also, like with those sections, the walls can be grabby, and sometimes you can just kind of get stuck on something, or stuck on a wall, and it can be hard to come out of that interaction, or continue it. Especially when it gets complicated and I need to use different mechanics of the game to get through the level. Now this is our first boss. It is this big digger, not a digger, thingy. I can't remember it right now. Fuck. But yes, you guys probably might have seen this one from just loads of different shorts and videos of this game. This game has been in development for about 3 years. So it's really, really interesting to see how it's changed, and especially because the person who does make this game like to advertise it a lot online. So like I said, it's very shadow glossy. You just kind of have to like hop on the boss itself, climb through it, and climb across it. But it also reminds me a lot of the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild bosses in that game, where you just climb on everything, and sometimes you have to do certain stuff in a certain order to unlock like the next bit. Also, do not be too worried if you die on these bosses, because sometimes these bosses do have checkpoints on them, to where you can quite easily just die, but you also have a reset button just in case you need it. But yes, there are checkpoints on the bosses. So yeah, this game does chuck a lot of checkpoints at you, and also you can change it in the settings to where you can turn off the checkpoints on bosses if you really wanted to. But I don't suggest playing the game like that, because some of the bosses can actually get quite hard, or require certain movement, and sometimes this movement can get finicky. Now we do get to watch me fail miserably again, even though I have already beat this boss before, and have beaten the entire game. But sadly I was not recording. I wish I was. There was some very interesting bugs. But yeah, this is this boss. Now there is only one boss in each chapter. It would be cool maybe in the next game for them to be like multiple bosses if they really needed to. And they do all turn into dust. You have to find out why and explore the world. Now, this is kind of more my... This is coming up to the end of my video. This is another interaction which they have got.
A tomb.
There's loads of different interactions with all of the characters and everything else like that.
Any idea how many overwrites it might have?
So yeah, like I said, interactions can be questionable between the orb.
It's better not
Orby.
to stay for too long in a place like this, Orby.
So this is more my end, and if we look up, you can see all of the different chapters all the way up. And once you get up there, I'm just gonna say it's a long fall down. And I really do love like the look of this game. It looks amazing, and like different pipes, all this stuff around. It very much feels very much this tech kind of world, and that you're exploring. And everything about it is very interesting. Now, this is where I leave you guys off, and I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you pick up the game, because this game is truly lovely. And as you go through this door, go into the next section, really do hope you enjoyed this video. And like I say, the more you go up, the harder the tower gets. You just have to keep on climbing.